Hi everyone, welcome into this week's my weekly CBS Fix. As always, I hope you had a wonderful week. In this week's Parshas Balak, we are reintroduced once more to the great prophet Bilam. I say great prophet because our sages teach us that Hashem had to allow the non-Jewish world to have a great prophet so that they should never be able to come and say, if we had a great prophet as great as Moses, we also would have been righteous people. So Hashem put them to the test. He gave them Bilam. Now Bilam was, unfortunately, as smart as great as he was actually pretty dumb. Because he had the truth right in his hands, and instead of looking clearly at the proof of everything in front of him, he chose to be willfully blind. As are most people who want to lead a certain life. They just want to shut their brains off to reality and just continue to live in ignorance. But anyway, one of the things that Bilam said when he went to curse the Jewish people, Hashem, of course, didn't allow him to do that, and instead Hashem put different words into his mouth. And one of the words he said was, Thomas Nafshi Mos Yesharim, let my soul die the death of the upright, of the just, Usihi Achrisi Kamahu, and let my end be like his, or like theirs. And this is very, very typical of somebody who does not want to live a Jewish life. That they say, let my death hopefully be the same ending as the upright, as the righteous of this world. Which means that while I'm alive, he doesn't care about living like a Jew. But when he wants to die, he wants his death should be the same. And Hashem says, it doesn't really work like that. You can't get away with murder, figuratively speaking, your whole life and then expect to have the same ending. So that's how people live. And unfortunately, I one time heard from my good friend Akiva Pollack. He says, so many people want to die like a Jew, but how come people don't want to live like a Jew? And by the way, this verse actually alludes to the fact that there is a world to come, because when he says, let my soul die the death of the righteous, what did he mean? He meant a hole in the ground? That's what he wanted? He knew he would end up there anyway. The answer is that we see that he knew exactly where the righteous were going to go. And let my end be like theirs. What does that mean? He knew he was going to Olam Haba. Another interesting thing about this verse is that usually if we look throughout the entire Torah, the entire Tanakh, all the Nevi'im, Ksuvim, all the prophets and writings, we will see how all the prophets are constantly castigating the nation of Israel in the worst light. And the nations of the world point to that. They go, you see how bad the Jews were? Yet the only time Hashem allows the Jewish people's real character, what Hashem really thinks of them, to come out is through his non-Jewish prophets. As we see in this week's parasha, Yaakov, Hapurifil are tents, Lahibit Avim B'Yaakov, he did not find any sins among the people of Jacob. And then also Haman, who said, Yesh Am Echad Mefuzir Mefir Ben Amen, that spread out amongst all the nations. They don't follow any of our laws, they follow their own laws. So we see that when it comes to the Jewish prophets, Hashem had a specific job for them, and that was to castigate the Jewish people and to constantly give them rebuke and to constantly reprove them. But when Hashem wants to really show what he thinks about the Jewish people, he leaves that up to his non-Jewish prophets who have no choice but to say what's really on Hashem's mind. So just a few ideas about this week's parasha. Have a wonderful, wonderful Shabbos.